Hello and welcome to Countrywide on Benue Television. I am Susan Ayo. The headlines. Benue State government to commence employment of teachers in the state. President Bola Tinubu returns after brief work stay in France. Plus, federal government allays fears of citizens over completion of ongoing road projects. Now the news in details. The Benue State government is to begin immediate employment of teachers in the state. Governor Hyacinth earlier announced this at Vandikia during the burial of Tojeji Chira, His Royal Highness Chief Clement Ugandan. According to him, the move is in fulfillment of his promise to upgrade the educational sector in Benue State. Correspondent Emmanuel Akula reports that the state government is targeting 9,700 teachers in the exercise. The reports.
The governor who says it is only through peaceful coexistence that development can thrive in the state, calls on the social cultural organizations in the state to bring youth together under Young Farmers Club to access support from his government in order to invest in agriculture for food security and development. Worried about the frequent passing of first-class chiefs in the land, the state chief executive promises to ensure enthronement of men of integrity as their successors to uphold values of the land, even as they collaborate with his government to end insecurity in the land. He uses the late traditional ruler, Chief Ugandan, as an example of who he describes as a man of peace who loved development and impacted many lives, to call on the people to emulate him for the good of humanity. Catholic Bishop of Boko Diocese, Most Reverend William Avenya, who says death is a transition to new life, also acknowledges it as ordained by God to give humans passage to eternity, while emphasizing the need for the living to promote human solidarity in preparation for their passing. The spiritual father admonishes the people against extravagant spending on burials instead of caring for the living. He describes the late traditional leader as a true Christian who touched the lives of many in extraordinary ways.
Dying was regarded as a punishment. However, the death and resurrection of Christ Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life, has turned death to a mere passage to eternity.
In a funeral oration, a former governor of Benue State, Dr. Gabriel Suswam, describes the late Chief Ugandan as a man of integrity and a credible traditional ruler who stood for the peace and development of the state in Nigeria.
Somebody we've lost, and I would say that the Team Nation have lost a great leader, someone who have stood for peace, who have stood for development of just not the state, but this local environment.
Meanwhile, the Catholic Bishop of Katsina Diocese, Most Reverend Isaac Dugu, who recounts the support of the late traditional ruler to humanity, particularly his priestly ministry, requests government to hand over missionary schools to the honors to enable them achieve their vision. Paramount ruler of the Tiv Nation, the Totif His Royal Majesty, Professor James Ayate, represented by the Tokwande Chief Ambrose Otie, President General Mzo Tiv CPO Behia, and Special Advisor to the Governor of Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, who advocate unity among the Tiv people in order to achieve development in the land.
Government is not a spirit that will be everywhere to see what is happening. And that is why they have been carefully selected and elected to represent government in the rural councils. Please, help government to help our communities.
Until his passing, Chief Clement Ugandan was the first-class traditional ruler of Vandeka and Konshisha Intermediate Area. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Benue State Legislature holds valedictory section in honor of late Barrister George Uchi. This was part of the Thursday plenary in Makudi. Fidelis Ashandu has the rest of the story.
The Benue State House of Assembly plenary on Thursday was unusual as members joined the family and relatives to mourn death of lawmaker George Uchi. The House moved the motion for his portrait to be admitted on the floor as part of privileges extended to former members of the House. One by one, members from the 3 senatorial zones take turns to honor the departed. Member representing Benue North East, Thomas Dugeri, Benue Northwest, Tewasi Uche, and Benue South, Kennedy Agbo, all expressed sadness over the demise of Mr. Uche.
Honorable George Ondaka Uche, a former member of Benue State House of Assembly, was a true leader and a compassionate soul, a pillar of strength for many.
There is no more. His legacy based on he once was a member here, sat on this hallowed chamber and made laws for the state. History will be kind to him, and I pray that he will find a place in the bosom of his maker.
Chairman, Forum of Former Legislators Sylvester Atachin, and former Speaker of the 6th Assembly, Tese Tumba, all praised Uche, saying he was a good man and his family should be given the needed support.
The rapidity of death to former members is too much. Somebody who has passed through the Benue State House of Assembly shouldn't die as early as that. You must pass the age of 100.
There is no more. That is the reality of life. Bible says it's appointed unto man who wants to die. There is a time to be born and a time to die. I want to particularly encourage the wife and children and members of the family that they should take solace. We all will take solace in God.
Finally, Speaker of the House, Aunduna Daju, extended his funeral oration saying, "Death is a wake-up call for all to live worthy life of emulation."
We are all going to leave this chamber one day, and we'll become former members too. We know that God is the giver of life, and He takes it when He wants to. But we also know that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to go for medical checkup. We need to make some drugs. Keep life going to when our Creator.
George Uche was a member representing Kwendi West State constituency in the 6th Assembly. Meanwhile, the House has received 2 bills to be debated on a later date. They are a bill for a law to establish Benue State Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment and a bill for a law to provide for Benue State Internally Displaced Pupils and Students Education Board. Fidelia Zashaundu, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Concerned members of Benue State Community Volunteer Guards and Vigilante Group has called on Benue people to work with present administration to end insecurity in the state. This call is contained in a communique issued during a press conference at the Woodland Park, Makudi. Correspondent Matu Iklono was there and now reports.
Benue State has been plagued by various security challenges ranging from farmers' herders' crisis, kidnapping, banditry and cultism. These insecurity challenges has taken a toll on the lives and property of the citizenry. In response to this concerned member of the society under the aegis of Community Volunteer Guards and Vigilante Groups Association are here, calling on the people of the state to work with the state governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, and his appointees to end the insecurity. The group leader, Mr. Teve Yaya, leads in the call.
We call on the good people of Benue State to come together and support the executive governor of Benue State, his appointees, in order to eradicate security challenges in the state.
Mr. Yaya, on behalf of the group, calls on the influential individuals and political stakeholders to come together and provide useful information that will help to abolish the societal menace.
We call on influential individuals such as community leaders, religious figures, civil society organizations, traditional rulers, and other security agencies as stakeholders to play a crucial role in promoting peace and dialogue to de-escalate tension and prevent further violence with the state.
The group leader appeals to the governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, to assent to the formation and inauguration of the security outfit with the groups inclusive.
The security operatives you see here today are few leaders of the volunteer guide vigilante group in Benue State who were in existence years before that the state was in peace. There is no crime will be committed in this state and will not be detected. You an armed robber, you a courtesan, you a bandit, there's nowhere you go and plan your plan. There are plans in Benue State.
In their separate reactions, spokesperson from the three geopolitical zones of the state, Richard Nwabua, Zone A, Emmanuel Ahijo, Zone B, and Isaac Ujowu from Zone C, urged the governor to expedite action on the law establishing the Civil Protection Guard to enable the outfit discharge their duties of restoring peace in the state.
Without security, there will be no peace. And without peace, there will be no development. If we want our state to move forward, let us solidly stand behind the executive governor that divides us in charge of security matters to give timely information.
Security ko party ngushamiga and yoma I believe nyelu ko party ga but yoma nyevu tilevulu security hitalo Benue ya number never ne lu hen kra gben me an nenge.
We need adequate security, and this thing can only happen if the Benue State Vigilante, the Benue State Community Volunteer Guard are being formed, brought back together, and together we will work. And since security is everybody's concern, you will find out that the security that we have before in Benue State will come back alive in Benue State.
These calls were translated in the three major languages of Idoma, Igede, and Tiv. Matthew Ikulono, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
You're watching Countrywide on Benue Television. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. 20 female petty traders in Benue State have received checks of 50,000 naira each as recapitalization grants from the Renewed Hope initiative of the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu. The Economic Empowerment Initiative aims to reach out to 1,000 petty traders, all women in each state of the Federation and the FCT. Martha Eku has details.
Thunderous clapping erupts from people in appreciation of the fund to Benue women by Nigeria's First Lady and founder Renewed Hope Initiative, Oluremi Tinubu, and the Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia for boosting their businesses. These Benue women are filled with excitement. It is barely 1 week of disbursement of the Renewed Hope Initiative food to vulnerable groups in the state by the wife of the president. Then comes the recapitalization grants to 1,000 women petty traders in Benue State, performing the symbolic presentation of checks to 20 beneficiaries at the banquet hall of Government House in Makurdi. The wife of the president and founder Renewed Hope Initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says it is part of her commitment to drive economic growth towards better life for families. Represented by the State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Anne Itodo, the First Lady says a total of 1.8 billion naira is to be disbursed to 30 27,000 women petty traders across the nation to assist them to recapitalize and grow their businesses.
We are all aware of the challenges faced by small and medium enterprises, SMEs, especially the petty traders, who form the backbone of our local economies. These challenges, however, have not deterred the strength of our women. Through the Renewed Hope Initiative Economic Empowerment Program, we are providing 1,000 selected women petty traders per state with a grant of 50,000 naira each.
Speaking at the flag off of recapitalization of economic grants, the Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia, represented by the Deputy Governor Sam Ode, says the gesture by Nigeria's First Lady is not just disbursement of funds, but economic empowerment for women, which holds great benefits. The governor assures Benue women of sustained support by the present administration, urging them to take the grant as a sign of their belief in women's ability to prosper.
I'm extending in a very special way my deepest appreciation to Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, First Lady of Nigeria, the wife of our President. Her commitment to the economic empowerment, particularly for women and the most vulnerable in our society, has brought about transformative change across our nation, Nigeria. Today's event is yet another testament of her tireless efforts and her dedication to the vision of a prosperous Nigeria, and that includes Benue State.
Special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Women Affairs and State Coordinator, Renewed Hope Initiative, Scholastica Benso, lauds the initiative of the First Lady, which has provided opportunity to women to boost their businesses.
Just last week, when we flagged off the food outreach program, the wife of the vice president said, by the come next week, we will be doing this event, and true to their word, it's happening today. These are women that honestly, they are deliberate. What they say they will do, they do. A word of encouragement to us all. These monies may look small to you, but it can make a difference. Please put it judiciously in whatever it is you desire to do.
Some of the 20 beneficiaries of the grant expressed gratitude to the founder of the Renewed Hope Initiative, saying it will go a long way to boost their businesses.
I'm really happy I could benefit from this because I run a mini business of POS, and I have a mini fish pond, which I was actually lacking funds for, but as this came, I could actually expand it a little.
I love what you said, but all thanks to them for what they have contributed to us to support our business. We promise that we will make them proud.
980 women are expected to receive the grant in the coming days to make up the figure of 1,000. Martha Iku, Benue Television News.
Media practitioners have been encouraged to shun biased sentiments and emotions when reporting in conflict situations and embrace objectivity as a tool. The call was made during a state-level strategic stakeholders engagement workshop for effective early response system in Nigeria at Benue Hotels, Makurdi. Martha Iku has details.
Conflict cannot be resolved without management skill, and for conflict to be sustainably resolved, media practitioners need to have conflict management skills as well as understand causes, actions, and the source. This formed the outcome of a state-level strategy stakeholders engagement workshop with the title Effective Early Warning, Early Response System in Nigeria, organized by USAID Mercy Call Nigeria for media practitioners from Benue and Nasarawa states, held in Makurdi. The one-day workshop is to adopt a conflict-sensitive approach towards engaging and compelling media practitioners to be able to mitigate conflict in their reportage. Participants at the workshop are taught on the need to understand the dynamics and the underlying issues on threats to one another's aspirations that can result to conflict and make positive contributions towards peace management. Resource persons suggest helping to create conditions that allow for the the interests and need of various parties in conflict to be heard. In a presentation on digital ecosystem from online threats to offline harm, weaponization of the social media, as well as sources and risks that social media create on how much online platforms promote conflict, the chief of party Mercy Corps Nigeria, Danjuma Dawop, says media practitioners should be able to counter misinformation on the social media if properly equipped.
We can kind of draw the attention of the media to understand the relationship between the online ecosystem where they operate and the offline conflict dynamics, which of the impact of whatever it is they write or they report. Then it's important that with that understanding, if they understand this, then they will be able to write in a conflict-sensitive way.
Participants at the state-level strategic stakeholders engagement workshop expressed diverse reactions to the importance of the training as it will enable them to be more objective in their reportage.
Conflict is dynamic and it evolves. So as such, as a journalist, one has to apply sensitivity in his reportage or writing. I will make sure that I work on this.
I understand today that as a journalist, if I must report conflict, it then means that we certainly have to go to the root of the root cause of the conflict. It means I need to know what is responsible for the conflict. It's not enough for me to, it's okay, I've heard them fighting, so let me quickly rush to go and report it. I need to know what is responsible for the fighting. I need to know how I should be able to approach the story to the point that people from both sides will not feel I'm going one side in any way.
The one-day training is to support media practitioners to understand the concept of digital peace building and also recognize that they can make constructive differences to promote peace during times of conflicts. Martha Iku, Benue Television News, Makde.
President Bola Tinubu has returned to Nigeria after a brief work stay in France. The president arrived in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, around 2 a.m. on Friday. He's expected to swear the new Chief Justice of Nigeria on Friday at the Council Chambers of the State House, following the statutory retirement of Justice Olu Kayode Ariwola from office. Recall that the National Judiciary Council on August 15, after its 106th meeting, recommended Justice Kadirat Kekere Ekun to Tinubu to replace the outgone CGN Ariwola. A statement signed by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Inge Lale, conveyed the President's appreciation to the outgoing CNG Ariwola. Tinubu described Ariwola's over 3 decades stints as a successful public service career, commending him from his service to nation. Kekere Ekun, the most senior justice of Supreme Court, will be sworn in as acting CJN pending on confirmation by the Senate. At 66, Kekere Ekun is expected to serve until her retirement in 2028. Let's take another break. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. The federal government has allayed fears of citizens over completion of ongoing road projects across the country. It says new projects would be proposed for the next fiscal year as it would focus on completing ongoing projects. Minister of Works Dave Umahi announced this while speaking to newsmen in Abuja about his ministry's scorecard in the past 1 year. Umahi said that the government remained resolute to complete its 4 legacy roads that are vital to enhancing the socio-economic well-being of Nigerians and improving the country's infrastructural landscape. He said the government has decided to focus resources on completing key initiatives that would fast-track the nation's development. The minister restated the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope administration at completing the road projects it inherited from previous administrations. He said through the government would pay more attention completing ongoing roads, it will not abandon strategic new ones to ensure smooth movement across the country. Umahi explained that his ministry adopted new policies to ensure a paradigm shift aimed at delivering a quality and enduring road network. He stressed that despite the progress the government had recorded, there would still be some hurdles to scale to enable the government achieve the goals of its renewed Hope Road Infrastructure Revolution. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, has condemned the killing of the head of Gatawa district in Sabon Birnin local government area of Sokoto State, Issa Bawa, describing it as heinous and unacceptable. This is just as he has vowed that the perpetrators must be fished out and punished. Matawale said that the federal government will do everything within its power to ensure that those responsible are held accountable. Consequently, the Defense Minister directed the Chief of Defense Staff to immediately launch a thorough investigation into the incident and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice. He stressed that security is one of the top agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Matawale assured the public that armed forces of Nigeria will leave no stone unturned in fishing out the perpetrators of crimes and bringing them to justice. The minister expressed his deepest condolences to the family of the late district head, the people of Gatawa, and the entire Sokoto state government. The federal government has set up at least 40 aging desks basically meant for care of senior citizens in 40 different ministries, departments and agencies, saying one individual agency or ministry can't handle issues related to aging. Director General of National Senior Citizen Center NSCC, Omar Karo, disclosed this in Abuja during an inaugural training program for quality assurance assessors certificates in the geriatric social care skill sector. The NSCC DG also revealed that the government had developed a care quality assurance system for Nigeria, which she said national benchmark and minimum standard for the accreditation of care settings are embedded. Although Omar Karo did not list the MDAs that have the section, she, however, warned against discrimination and stigmatization of older persons in various sectors, noting that old age should be seen as a beautiful thing to cherish and not to despise. She emphasized that care for older persons, in line with global best practices, is a skill that requires training. On its part, the National Board for Technical Education describes skills as the global currency of labor, saying to be competent person, there must be competency-based assessment and certification. With that report, we've come to the end of our bulletin. Before we go, a recap of the top stories. Benue State government to commence employment of teachers in the state. President Bola Tinubu has returned after a brief work stay in France. We also told you that federal government has allayed fears of citizens over completion of ongoing roads project. Thanks for being part of Countrywide on Benue Television. I am Susan. Remain blessed.